Hey y'all. Okay. So let's start by saying this. Welcome back. February, y'all. We have done it again. We are coming through with the SheEOs. I'm super excited for the last February. It will be my video. So be stay tuned for that. However, you already know I'm super excited as always. I know. Jaysa so giddy. Whatever. This video comes from the amazing Amber Darling, y'all. I can't even list off the amount of things that she does. She is a notary. She is starting her own podcast on PTSD. She has a trucking management business that she's starting up. She is just all around absolutely amazing, y'all. But I obviously, you already know I'm not going to give you the story because then you're going to be done with my video. But that's not what we're here to do. Today's interview is going to go deep into her experiences, her life, everything that she has to offer in order to really set the foundation. Sorry. Set the foundation for what she's done, how she's gotten here, and just how she can provide advice to other women that are in her same predicament, right? Everyone has a story, and I'm super excited to be able to give you guys this segment and continue to do it through the years and years to come. So, as always, make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, like, share, comment, and come back for the next SheEO on the next Wednesday, as well as our Just Jaysa topics that do come every Saturday, okay? So, as always, stay tuned after our intro to hear the amazing Amber Darling's story on Just Jaysa. Welcome back. You already know I told you we are doing an interview today with the amazing Amber. I'm obviously going to let her do her thing, introduce herself, and tell us about her journey. But you already know I got to make sure you know. Tune in. Definitely subscribe. Go on our page and check out her pages. I've already connected everything on there so you can tune in with her after this interview, okay? So obviously, without further ado, thank you so much for doing this. Please tell us who you are, what you do, and let's jump into this.
Let me first thank you because you are amazing. Okay? And I want you to keep that spirit. But who I am, I'm Amber. I'm married to a piece of shit. And okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I said that. And I have 6 children. I have 4 grands and all that stuff. But my journey has been wild. It's been a wild ride. And I'll tell you, the song that I really, really relate to, that I think relates to my life, is I think her name is Lainey, and it's My Heart is Like a Truck.
I'm about to look it up because now I need to know.
Oh, girl, she be saying it. My heart is like a truck. It been drugged through the mud. That's how.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it's definitely worth a listen. But anywho, it's been wild. It's been crazy. It's been good.
Yeah.
It's been all that.
Okay. So tell me about. I guess we got to start. Tell me about this marriage. How does it play into where you are now?
Um. So my husband is verbally abusive. And I think I took that because I've always taken verbal abuse. It stimulates deeper than him.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I know that that I'm not dealing with that shit. Straight up. But you have to get to a place. And a lot of women are going to listen to this and be like, oh, I wouldn't put up with that shit. Bitch, you're lying. You putting up with it. I'm just the one speaking the truth on it.
Yeah. And that's funny because this is my second marriage. So a lot of people.
My second one too.
And it's crazy the things you realize after the fact. And it's too late, or people, same thing, judge you for the reason you leave or the reason you are just fed up. And then it's like, no, you know that conversation I'm talking about. You know that experience I'm talking about. And they make you seem crazy for even dealing with it. But it is what it is. You hear. But tell me what else you do. What do you have on your plate? 'Cause, we talk. I know the things that you're doing. What do you do? What do you have going on right now?
So I work for Bank of America. That is my corporate job. I am a notary. I'm a licensed notary. I have about 20, well, I didn't chop that down. So I have about 15 hours left to get my real estate license. I'm into wholesale and real estate. So fix and flip, that's a whole nother story. But I'm into that. I do have a few clients on being a virtual assistant. And what else do I do? Oh, my podcast. So, disclaimer, y'all, my podcast is coming out. Woo woo. And it is called Echoes of Mind Mayhem. I'm going to awareness to PTSD because that is my diagnosis, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay talking about it.
My son's crying in the background, but okay. So tell me about your PTSD. Where does that stem from?
So PTSD is something that people experience from trauma. Any type of trauma. It could be a car accident, a skiing accident, or in my case, I grew up in Inglewood. You know what I mean? I grew up with your mama. And growing up in Inglewood wasn't very easy. I was fat. I had teeth that wasn't correct. And I got teased a lot. So my homeboy, the guy who people think was a bad person, but he really wasn't. He said, "You know what? Why you keep letting these people do you like that?" And I was like, "'Cause they keep bullying me." He said, "Nah, you gonna learn today. You learn today." And he took time with me. So I start beating people up. You got something to say about me? Hey, let's do it.
Okay. And that's similar to my husband. My husband had the same little story. He was same thing, getting teased. His mom put him in karate, and now he's an MMA fighter. So that just that's a lot of how he decided to deal with it too. And I think that's interesting for a lot of women, especially women like me. Like I just wasn't fighting. I was into a lot of stuff. It seemed like people had a lot of issues, but I just it is what it is. A lot of women are big on running their mouths, and I'm just not about to fight you over you running your mouth. That was just me. But I think that that's also very important to teach a lot of people, especially with my son, teaching him how he's going to engage in different situations because he's mixed. How is he going to handle that? So that's an important little story. I appreciate you sharing that. What about your other businesses? So I know you're trying to get your real estate license. What puts you on the path of putting your hand in different things?
Because even at the age I'm at, I'm 47, but I don't know exactly what my calling is. And at the end of the day, I'm like sugar free. I'm trying to get rich real quick while you bullshitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what that is. I'm into everything because at the end of the day, I like money.
Yeah. I feel that. And what would you say is when you're trying to figure that out, right? So it's it's very difficult to find your purpose. And I think that after you get a certain age, like you point out, people just want to, you're trying to make your money. And that's the way this nation is set up. How would you, I guess, guide someone that is trying to figure out their calling before they get to that point?
What I would say is, honestly, there's a reason for every season. And sometimes you got to roll with the tide.
Mhm.
You know, your purpose is going to come to you at
Yeah.
some. So I just think, just roll with it. But
Yeah.
don't stop. Don't stop. Don't give up. You're gonna get discouraged.
Mhm.
But don't let that grass grow up under your feet.
Mhm.
You know
And
what I mean? Don't
yeah.
let it take control of you.
Mhm. And with you having, you said 6 kids. So what is that? How many boys do you have? How many girls? Who's the oldest?
I have 4 boys.
Mhm.
I have 2 girls. My oldest is 30,
Mhm.
and my youngest is 9.
Okay. So with you growing up where you grew up and how you grew up, have you noticed the differences in raising your boys now?
Not only my boys, my girl was the first one, and I had her at 15. So she grew up with me. I made plenty of mistakes with her. I was still out there banging and doing all these other things. I was into a lot. Um, but as far as raising my boys, I've learned a lot. I think
Mhm.
I made a lot of mistakes with my older boy, but I think I learned a lot. And right now, I'm in a community where I won't move from because I want my baby to not live the life I did.
Mhm. And how are you, I guess, how have you learned to sway your children from doing that over the years? Because I know just with my mom, there's things that I've seen her do with my siblings that she definitely didn't do with me. So how are you kind of figuring it out as you go, or how are you changing it?
Well, my 2 older ones were born in California.
Mhm.
Everybody else was born here in Arizona, where I am,
Mhm.
which is a totally different atmosphere.
Mhm.
So I think that played a good role in it. What I don't like about Arizona is there's a lot of racist people. So
Mhm.
I did very much have to teach my boys you are a black man
Mhm.
and it's okay to be a black man.
Mhm.
It is not okay for somebody to call you a nigger or a nigga or none of that. None of
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
At that point, you beat the shit out their ass. We ain't talking no more.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how I've raised them.
And that's crazy. I didn't think there was that much racism in Arizona. That's
Girl, bye. They be driving around with the Trump flags and some more shit,
mm,
which is okay if you like.
yeah.
But I didn't have people jump out on me, and I am the person that either I'm 0 or I'm 100.
Oh wow. In Arizona? That's crazy though. I didn't expect that because I live in North Georgia now, and that's normal up here is the racism. But that's crazy. I didn't think Arizona was like that. That's wild.
Oh, yeah, it gets tricky.
Oh well. Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind. No Arizona. Um, what about your girls? So for me, I'm not a big fan of the way women are perceived nowadays. How are you dealing with that? Especially having your girls. Is your 9-year-old a girl or a boy?
He's a boy.
Okay. So with your girls, how are you dealing with that?
I have my boy is 9.
Mhm.
I have two 18-year-olds. They're twin boys.
Okay.
And then my daughter is 20. My son is 28, and then my oldest is a girl, and she's 30. But dealing with my girls are the ones that are kind of cool. My first daughter, I can't believe she is as calm as she is. Like, you have to do a lot to bring her out of a bag. Now, my baby girl is she is Amber. That's little Amber.
Yeah.
Her ass will. Hey, you can't pressure her at all.
That's interesting. I think I've heard that a lot with people in their second kid is more like them than their first. I think that's kind of interesting to hear that that's how it happened. What would you say is your perspective on mental health now? So in the Black community, we have a hard time addressing the need for mental health, for counseling, anything of that nature that can be seen as a weakness. How have you kind of adjusted over the years, or you have the same mindset that you did when you were younger? What is your take on mental health now?
So on mental health, it's only been about a year that I have actually dealt with my mental health. You know what I mean? That I was okay with seeing a therapist. I'm okay with talking about certain things. I'm okay now with people knowing my background. I think as a community, what happens is men think, a man ain't supposed to cry and all this stuff. We have so many barriers that we don't take care of our mental health. And so what happens is when we get older, it comes to haunt us. You know what I mean? Like the old spirits, that shit come and it's just haunting you.
Yeah.
And people may not admit this, but it's very true.
Would you say that the reason you weren't open to counseling and talking about your things was because of your influences like family, or was it just you personally weren't ready to kind of walk into that?
I'm not sure if I can give you a definite answer on that, but my feeling is that somewhere down the line, I, I held everything inside. So I have I've been with my therapist and dealing with it for a year, but I have 46 years of things I've never said.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's hard. And I know that personally speaking too, it's I can say it's both. It's definitely not being comfortable talking about it just because it's always that image of having to be strong and not being open to your emotions or being vulnerable. Even now, learning about just being a woman in general and the different roles that you're supposed to play as a woman, I think that that's definitely played a part in just doing segments like this, just talking to other women and seeing their mindset on what they should say, what they shouldn't say, how they should act, how they shouldn't act. And it's interesting because I don't think any of us really know what the expectation is, and not necessarily doing it for that image, but even for ourselves, trying to figure out, okay, so should I share this? Should I not? Would this help somebody? Is this for me? And just really digesting what needs to come out and when. I think that that has been very interesting to hear. A lot of Black women don't know, and sharing that is very interesting to hear about your side of it. um as far as your podcast, what can we kind of expect to hear on it? So I know it's about PTSD. Are we going to hear a lot of your stories? Is it going to be more tip oriented? What is it going to encompass?
Well, I am really interested in raising awareness on PTSD because it's such a big scope, and I think a lot of people suffer from it but
Mhm.
don't admit it.
Mhm.
But at the end of it, I will be doing a fictional crime story on a PTSD situation. So, for instance, a woman that flips out and ends up stabbing her husband like 87 times
Mhm.
because he said something that triggered her.
Mhm.
But my concern as well is what happens with the legal system.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she was ill and she was triggered.
Mm.
Did commit a crime, but does that make it right or wrong?
Mhm. That would be. I'm interested to hear how that plays out. 'Cause I'm a criminal justice major. That was my bachelor, so definitely tying those two in. That would be kind of dope to hear about. I would love to see how that plays out. So
I was
definitely.
supposed to be a lawyer somewhere. See, I have an old soul, a
Mhm.
very old soul, and um, I really, really wanted to be a lawyer.
Mhm.
But I fucked around, I hung with the wrong crowd. I did all that stuff. So it didn't work. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I want to tell everybody you don't have to have an education. All you have to have is a drive.
Mhm. That's the truth. I
You
definitely.
know, people made fun of me because I was, like I said, I was a fat kid.
Mhm.
My teeth was crooked. I talked slow. I wasn't your ideal female.
Mhm.
But now I'm in that space. I don't give a fuck. Love me or
Mhm.
not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was saying, how did you get to the point of not caring and just being confident in yourself?
Well, it took a long time. I think I started to spiral because my first husband, um, well, let's say this. I was looking for love in all the wrong places.
Mhm.
But my first husband ended up, he was fucking my cousin, and
Mhm.
I was taking care of both of them. So they was fucking in my house.
No.
Girl, bye. Yes, they was. And they are still together at this moment, but I'm
Mm.
okay with that now.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that now. I wanted to fuck her up and him too.
Mhm.
And they have 3 children. So they
Mm.
have 3 children, and I have 3 children from them. And
Mhm.
our children are cousins and brothers and sisters.
Mm.
That's sick ass shit.
Oh my God.
That's enough to drive a person crazy. And let me shout them out, Paulette and Big Daru, because I'm
Mm.
going to put their name out there. I don't give a fuck.
Mm. They know they wrong. Oh yeah, no, I would have lit him up. I had to kill mine. Oh no. Okay. So that's yeah. That's definitely something that would have had me triggered. Ooh wait. So how did you meet your current husband? How did that come into fruition?
So I met him through his cousin,
Mhm.
and they stayed like around the corner or whatever from me.
Mhm.
And me and my current husband have been together for like 9 years.
Okay.
But The thing is about me, I'm a loyal person.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have my heart, you have my heart, and I'm not gonna deceive you.
Mm-hmm.
But girl, I'm telling you, we having some thoughts about that there.
Yeah, I feel that. Oh, yeah. That's definitely, yeah, I feel that. And I definitely understand a lot of what you are saying. Okay, so tell me, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What is your goal with your businesses, with your podcast, with everything that you're trying to put in motion?
My goal is to build all these businesses. I will give each one of my children one of them. Um, I'm gonna close that LLC. I'm gonna open a corporation of the same thing. I'm gonna do it all over, whichever is successful after we analyze it. And I'm gonna be rich, girl. I'm telling you, before I leave here, I'm gonna have me a bag.
No, that's right. I'm feeling it. Okay. So tell us how we can get in touch with you. With any of your businesses, do you have any social media or websites that they can use to connect with you?
I do. So my travel website, I'm sorry, my travel Facebook page is Energy Travel, INNERG Travel. My podcast is Echoes of Mind Mayhem. And as far as the real estate is concerned, I mean, you can just reach out to me directly. I would say if you have, because I run I guess a promotion. I would say not a promotion, but I guess it will be a advertisement. And if you send me a distressed property and I make a deal on it, I will pay you out $500 off the rip, no questions asked. So the number for that is 520-861-3286.
Awesome, awesome. And I'll make sure that it is on my website. So I have all of that there, as well as it's going to be in our description box. So you can keep up with all of that information and not have to worry about looking for it in the video. But as always, I don't want to keep you too long because I know you have so much to do. But I did want to make sure I get you on here so we can talk. And when you have your real estate stuff, I would love to have you back so we can chop it up. Good gravy on that a little bit more. But do you have anything that you want to leave us with? Any advice? Any last words?
Of course, I'm going to leave you with anybody, whether that's male or female. Keep on moving. Don't stop.
I love
Just don't stop. Keep going. If you feel like you're failing, don't stop. Because failure is part of success.
it.
I do very appreciate you having me. I know I'm a long-winded person because I'm just that old folk. But I appreciate you, okay?
Definitely. I appreciate you for doing this. I know it's definitely takes some time out your day, but I appreciate it.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
All right, y'all. So you already know what to do. Make sure that you go on our website, the new website. I will make sure I put that in the description box as well. Check out all of her information, her background, the amazing Amber Darling. I'm so excited to post this with y'all and hear about your comments, your perspective on the stories that you were able to hear. And as always, this is Just Jaysa. Bye.